Hey guys, today we are going to work on our map for the Galatians Bible study, and I'm going to show you how to draw it yourself. Of course, at the end of the Bible study there is one that's already drawn. If you aren't up for this challenge, you can just grab that one and fill it in with us when we get to the labeling part. But I wanted to show you the region. So this is our world atlas, and this is the area of modern-day Turkey. And right down here is Israel. And this is Jerusalem, way down at the bottom here. This area is Syria, and then this is Turkey. So up in here is where the Galatian churches were. And how I view this is like a dog's head with his mouth open, and Egypt would be his bottom jaw down here, trying to eat the island of Cyprus, if that helps you draw it a little bit easier. It did me. So I'll get my journal here, and I have my notes, so hopefully I don't forget anything. And I kind of loosely sketched this out already so that I could actually think and talk at the same time. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to draw the dog's head. And depending on the size of your journal, I just kind of put my hand like this. So it kind of takes up the whole page. That's going to be the dog's head, and my thumb is going to be one of these teeth. He's got two teeth down here. So it doesn't have to be perfect. We're not going for perfect or beautiful. We're just kind of doing something so that we can learn. And I'm going to just kind of loosely do some wavy lines. Come down here, do the first tooth, second tooth, a bit of his smile, and then the lower jaw down here. Then I'm going to draw the island of Cyprus, which is kind of this long blob with the tail, and that's roughly it. So what we're going to do now is label and draw the area of the churches. So Galatians is written to the churches at Galatia, so it was 4 or more different churches that he mentions, and I kind of roughly estimated where they were. Again, we're not going for perfect, we're just learning here. So from this first bump up here, I'm going to go straight up, and I'm going to draw a dot about 1/3 of the way up, and that's the church at Antioch. So I'm going to just draw a little church building, just a half a square with a triangle top, put a cross on top of it, and I'm going to label that Antioch. Okay, so from there I'm going to go over to about the bump part here, the lower part of the bump. Put another dot down a bit from Antioch, so it's not directly across, and draw my other church. And this is Iconium. And then down and a little bit to the left of Iconium is another dot, and that church is Lystra. And then down a little bit to the right of that is another church, Derby. Okay, so we have all of our churches labeled there. Now we're going to also label in some key parts, just some different things that happen, not necessarily in the book of Galatians, but that have been mentioned throughout the Bible. So the first one is we're going to draw this lake with a river. So I'm going to go down a little below half of this kind of long part here. And I'm just going to draw a circle, and then this is the river, and then another sea or lake there, and then a dot on the side marks Jerusalem. So that's where obviously a lot of stuff happens. And then on the road here, so going from Jerusalem up to a little bit past this first little lake, put another dot and write Damascus. And you probably know what happened there. This is where Paul actually met Christ. So I'm going to draw, and he was blinded. I'm going to draw a blind Paul. So he's just going to have X's for his blind eyes and his arms out. That's where Paul was blinded, and you can just write a note there if you want. And then up here, just on this little inlet here, I'm going to draw a dot for Tarsus, And I'm going to draw just a little bean shape with a circle on it, 2 eyes, and then just some lines to show like some swaddling cloths. This is where Paul was born. This was his birthplace and where he went to school. So I'm going to draw just a school there. This is Tarsus. So you can see kind of, you know, Paul's younger life here. Then he went down here to Jerusalem to persecute the church. He was blinded on the road to Damascus, and then he actually became a believer. So now we're going to do, let's label Cyprus. And then in the Bible study, I'll tell you too to kind of draw a loose circle around this area. So it's not exactly, not all the scholars know for sure if they were writing to these specific churches or if it included some more. So we're just going to do like a really rough kind of circle that this would be the Galatian churches. Okay, and then I'm also going to have you later on, I think it's in chapter 2, label the area of, I think it's called Sicilia and Syria. And I'm just going to draw some dots in there now. You can do it now or you can do it when we get to it. But you're just going to kind of label these areas because Paul talks about these areas. And then Syria, which is still kind of modern day Syria. Okay, and then I'm going to have you draw in the Bible study. I tell you to draw a scroll, and then we'll put some facts about Galatians here. So how I draw that scroll is I just draw 2 kind of bent curved lines here for the sides. And then I draw a straight line across the bottom, a straight line across the top, and then just these little half circle swirls on each end there. And that's a pretty simple scroll. And then in there you're going to write, I have you write specific things about Galatians that you'll be researching in the Bible study. And that's about it. You did your map. Great job.